right, ladies and gentlemen, we're at the National Sales Meeting for JB&A, and we're just about to unveil something new to the sales team, which is, Donnie, what is this? Come on, help me out here.
This is the NewTek TriCaster Flex.
The TriCaster Flex. With me today is Donnie from NewTek. Donnie, what's your job over there? What do you do?
So I am the NewTek Sales Engineer and Manager for NewTek. So we work with a bunch of guys who are super smart. They workflows, product demonstrations, answer questions for customers, resellers. Obviously, we work very closely with your guys.
That's right, and you play with some of the coolest toys on earth. So, talk to me, what do we have here? First off, this is new, right?
Yes, it definitely is.
Is this number 1 or number 3?
This is actually number 1 in a new type of control surface.
Yes. Okay.
The reason why I say this is because rather than our standard two-stripe control surface that, yeah, it has Ethernet on it, but this control surface is actually using NDI. So we're talking about changing the way our control surfaces work with our TriCaster systems. First one on the market to be an NDI control surface, which is obviously what we've been going for, interconnectivity between all our devices.
You are the NDI company, so why wouldn't you make a control surface that is NDI enabled? So when you say NDI enabled, what does that actually mean?
That means that I can plug this anywhere on my network and control any TriCaster that is on that network. The other nice thing about it is because it's NDI, this gives me the ability to select the TriCaster I want to control at the control surface
rather than at the TriCaster.
At the TriCaster, correct.
So this really goes to sort of that long term of getting all the TriCasters back in the closet because they're all IP enabled, so they don't have to be in the room anymore.
That's
and
right.
Now neither does your control surface.
Exactly, exactly.
So walk me through, some of the big fundamental changes, and I would think the one is probably the one that everybody's seeing right back here, which is audio inputs on the control surface.
You are absolutely correct. So we talk about this being the first NDI control surface. Also the first control surface that gives us audio directly on the control surface itself. So multiple 1/4-inch jacks. The thing I'm really excited about is having my phone's jack directly on my control surface and TalkBack. TalkBack has been one of the things that people have been asking for, an easy way of using it. Putting it directly on the control surface makes it super easy. You have some equipment where your control surface is, it's not in the rack or in the rack room. Easy way to get additional audio in. When we're talking about things like a TriCaster Mini, where we're limited on the number of inputs on the front, this is a quick and easy way to expand that audio going into your TriCaster.
Yeah, so this is not only a remote control surface, it's also a new audio I/O as well, or an audio bridge.
Exactly.
And if you think about it, taking it out of the control room, away from the TriCaster, where all the normal connections would be, you're sort of going, okay, well, if I'm moving this into a room, I need audio, right? I've got to get that audio back into the system. And so right here gives us, and I also like, one of the other ones that you mentioned phones, but also TalkBack. Because that's always the piece, right? If you're in the room, if you're away from the TriCaster, it's all those other ancillary connections we don't think about. Like, oh, if I'm doing a remote guest, how do I talk to them? How do I hear them?
Exactly.
So it's all sort of here. Okay, so some other things I noticed, I kind of right out of the gate, and I love this because as we're talking, I see the audio meters peaking up here on the pots. So let's talk through that. And here, I'm gonna flip this up so people can see. If you notice here, audience, there's some dials there, some pots at the top of this, and that is audio controls.
That's right.
So not only do we have the input, but we have control of them as well.
Right, especially because we're looking at the TriCaster interface. A lot of times what I do is I minimize my audio mixer, and so I'm looking at how I'm gonna control audio with that minimized. Now I have a quick and easy way to adjust that audio, whether I need to adjust my slider or I just need to mute an input really quickly. I can just simply tap on a knob, mutes my audio for me. Nice because I see the VU meters directly on this. Yeah. So seeing that audio mixer in the interface.
You can see where it's coming from and you can quickly react. I mean,
exactly.
Jordan's gonna love this because he's always looking for a way to mute me, so now he's just got a quick button to hit there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's over there laughing. He's like, yes, we can't shut him up. What else is going on here? So, PTZ control. Let's walk through that one for a quick sec.
So the nice thing about this control surface as well, one, it's a smaller form factor than our two-stripe, but we do give you the control for your PTZ cameras directly on it. I have my focus, my iris. I have an option for presets for my cameras as well, all directly on the control surface, so I can easily get to anything I need directly on the control surface. So the rocker we have here is for doing zoom in and zoom out, easily accessible while I'm using the joystick for my PTZ camera. So if I need to make any quick adjustments, I can easily control where those are moving on the screen. I do still get my focus and my iris. And of course we have our presets that I can easily select for moving that camera for any shots that I may have set up already. But just the size of the control surface where these are makes it really easy to use right at your fingertips.
Yeah.
One of the things that we faced a lot was being able to fit some of the smaller rooms, some of the studios for like we're doing right now, just doing a podcast. We want a smaller control surface that'll fit in that area.
Yep.
It's got a lower profile, and because the way we redesigned the interface on it, we get a lot more controls directly on here. It's easier to see. A lot of times we go into the control rooms, it's darker. We need to be able to see everything. This gives us everything, especially with this OLED strip right in the middle.
And so we've got 16 tactile inputs available. Just can we mem over to, or switch over to additional inputs?
We definitely can. Okay. So obviously we're using this with a TriCaster 2 Elite. We have more than the 8 inputs, not including DDRs.
Yep.
I can switch over to a different bank and have easy access to all my additional inputs on the system. Nice. And the nice thing is that while I have a bank button for my TC2 Elite, when I'm using this with other TriCasters, when I'm setting up the control surface, I can specify what TriCaster I'm using. So my control surface now easily identifies what TriCaster I'm using. And we have a web interface for it. So I can control the control surface through the web interface anywhere on the network for what I want to set up.
I'm playing with the strike button here. So
I
I like pushing buttons.
I definitely do. And that actually brings us to a good point. TriCaster 2 Elite has 8 MEs. And if I want to access any one of those, right now we're in just our program row. And it identifies as green or red. Yep. That's what we normally see on a program row. But if you go ahead and change the ME that we're working on, so we'll change our stripe, ME1.
Let's go to ME8. That sounded
and
fun.
And now when you let go, you'll notice our buttons match our mix effects, so that while you've done this before, when you're on a show, everything is moving super quick. You want to be able to easily identify what you're on. Having the buttons light up different colors, so you know if you're on a mix effect or if you're on the program row, will just help your video production go a lot better and easier.
You know, they're never going to let me have one of these because, you know, this bit here with the pots and turning those and then being able to see them on the surface over there. Yeah, let's mess with that one. Oh yeah, that is just too much fun. Loads of fun.
You're now taking control of your own show to be able to do it.
Again, that's why they would never let me play with it. Okay, so shipping or not shipping?
Shipping.
And
they're currently in stock. They're available now. I wanted to give you all one of the first previews of it.
We thank you. We'll gladly accept it. It's ours now. And which models does it work with?
All product line.
All product line.
That was one of the big things we were considering, where we're going to start our entry level with it. Us as a sales engineer group, we really wanted to see it with the TriCaster 2 Elite. And so it's available for all product lines now, whether you're using a Mini 4K, Mini X, TriCaster 2 Elite, or even a TC1 Pro.
This is amazing. I mean, this truly sort of breaks the barriers of where you produce from. I mean, with NDI, your cameras can be anywhere, right? But you're sort of always slave to where your TriCaster is. Now you can be anywhere, and I'm assuming you can pop up an NDI monitor and get your interface wherever you want. And then, you know, so this and a couple of Connect Sparks, and your production can be anywhere in the building.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what I do in my office. Obviously, you know, I have a rack that I built. I will literally hook this up in my office. My rack's in my other office, and then I can control my TriCaster in the other office. I use Studio Monitor with NDI KVM, and I can see my full interface. And I don't have to be in the same room where all of my machines are running, because I have like 8 or 9 machines. I don't want to hear those running during my production. This allows me to put it anywhere I want.
Awesome. All right, well, this is exciting. I'm really pumped for this. I think this is going to be a killer for sure. All right, so this is the TriCaster Flex. You saw it here. Thank you for bringing it to our national sales kickoff for 2023. Donnie, I'm looking forward to catching you at NAB.
Sounds great. I'll see you there.